Welcome to episode 4 of the Taking a Doctor Who quiz book series. This series is going to keep going forever, I think. I'm going to be doing this until the heat death of the universe or I finish this book, whichever comes first. So where we last left off, we was doing Name That Story, where it gave me the initials of each word in a Doctor Who story title, and based on the initials I got to figure out what the story is, and I struggled quite a bit with this. But for part 2, I went away and off camera I spent a whole morning trying to figure out what the answers were, and I wrote down all my answers so that this whole video just doesn't end up being cut footage of me sat here racking my brain. But yeah, Name That Story part 2, we're going to continue with these horrible initials which I really don't like to figure out because they really make my head hurt for some reason. So number 1 we have COM, and I think that was Carnival of Monsters. Number 2 I put CB, which is Cold Blood. Number 3 Human Nature. HN, Human Nature. Number 4, DOTM. This one took a bit of thinking, but I came up with Day of the Moon in the end. Number 5 was WG. Now, I originally thought The War Games, but of course there's no T at the beginning. Warrior's Gate was my answer for that. It suddenly sprung into my head at the last minute. Number 6 was COD, which this one took a bit of thought, but I came up with City of Death. Number 7 was really tricky, NIS. I took quite a while thinking of this one. The IS part I thought was going to be like something in space, but then I thought the only Doctor Who story to be called Something in Space was Colony in Space from the John Pertwee era, but of course that would have been CIS, not NIS. For some reason, Nazis in Space sprung into my head. I have no idea why. There isn't even a Doctor Who story called Nazis in Space, although I guess you could argue that technically any Dalek story is technically Nazis in Space. But in the end, I came up with Nightmare in Silver. Number 8 was DOAS, and I got Dinosaurs on a Spaceship for that one. That one took a bit of thought as well. Number 9 was TIP, which I got The Impossible Planet for that one. Number 10, DIM, I got Daleks in Manhattan. Number 11, TUM, was The Underwater Menace, one of only 2 televised Doctor Who stories where the second word in the title begins with the letter U, so that narrowed it down quite a bit considering part 1 of this section already had The Unquiet Dead. Number 12 is TEOT, that's TEOT, and I got The End of Time for that one. Number 13 was TUATW, and I got The Unicorn and the Wasp. Number 14, TOTA, I put Terror of the Autons. And number 15, TPOT, I got The Power of 3. Yay, answers time. Name That Story part 2, we got Carnival of Monsters, Cold Blood, Human Nature, Day of the Moon, Warrior's Gate, City of Death, Nightmare in Silver, Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, The Impossible Planet, Daleks in Manhattan, The Underwater Menace, The End of Time, Unicorn and the Wasp, Terror of the Autons, and The Power of 3. I got them all correct. That's pretty impressive actually, not gonna lie. So far so good. Next section, however, is Title Hunt. Identify the Doctor Who story from the number of letters in each word of its title. Okay, so it's given me a list of numbers basically, and those numbers is the number of letters in each word of a title, as it says in the description. I feel like this is quite an easy concept to grasp, to be honest. So yeah, the more numbers that there are in each question, the more words there are in the story title. This is also a section that I wrote down my answers for after spending quite a long time figuring out off camera. One plus of this section is that it divides it up into Classic and New Who, so all of part 1 is Classic episodes and all of part 2 is New Who episodes. That kind of differentiating categorisation would have been pretty handy in some of these previous sections, not gonna lie. I mean, come on, Jacqueline Rayner, you're doing me dirty with this book here, like, really. So number 1 we have 9. This is a single word title, 9 letters, and let's see. My answer for that was Logopolis. Number 2 is a single word title and it's 7 letters, which I got Inferno for that one. Number 3 was 6 letters, which I put Meglos. Number 4 is 3 and 3, so that's 2 words, both consisting of 3 letters, and I got The Ark, the William Hartnell story. Number 5 was 5 and 5, and I put Ghostlight. I was originally debating whether that was correct, because I wasn't sure if Ghostlight had a space in between the 2 words, whether it was classed as 1 word or not, but I did a bit of research after I thought of the answer, and I guess it turns out that it technically is classed as 2 words, so yeah, Ghostlight for that one. Number 6 was 7 and 6, and I put Mordrin Undead. And number 7 was 7237, which I worked out was going to be something of the something. If there's a 2 and a 3 next to each other in any of these questions, and I worked out that that is going to be of the. So, but yeah, number 7, 7237, I couldn't figure that one out, so I just wrote pass on that one, so I'm passing on that one. Whatever the correct answer is, I'll put it in the bottom of the screen right now, along with a big fat X to indicate my stupidity and failure to think of the answer. Number 8 was 4434, and for that I put Fury from the Deep. Number 9 was 6237, and I put Planet of the Spiders for that one. Number 10 was quite a long one, 384236. Now, being a long title actually kind of narrowed it down a fair bit for me, and I came up with The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. I guess in a way, if there's, you know, a longer title, it does make it easier because it stands out more, because there's not that many Doctor Who titles that go above 4 words on average, so that kind of helped, I think, in a way. Number 11 was 337, and I put The Two Doctors for that one. Number 12 was 395, where's my other post-it? 395, and I put The Invisible Enemy. Number 13, 359, so yep, and I put The Reboss Operation for that one. Number 14 was 34236, and I put The Evil of the Daleks. And lastly, in part 1 of this section, 3727, and I put The Monster of Peladon for that one. Okay, the answers for Title Hunt Part 1, we've got Logopolis, Inferno, Megalos, The Ark, Ghostlight, Mordred Undead. Number 7 was Mission to the Unknown. That's the only one I got wrong so far. I had a feeling it was going to be a missing story. Those ones tend to catch me off guard in these quizzes. Fury from the Deep, Planet of the Spiders, The Great Show in the Galaxy, The Two Doctors, The Invisible Enemy, The Reboss Operation, Evil of the Daleks, The Monster of Peladon. Well, number 7 was the only one that I got wrong, and that's only because I passed on that question because I couldn't think of the answer. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so now we're going to go on to Title Hunt Part 2, and this is going to be all modern episodes from 2005 to 2013. It could be any of the Eccleston, Tennant or Smith episodes. So starting off with single word titles again, we've got number 1 is 6, and I got Utopia for that one. I did originally write Dalek, but then I realised, no, that's 5 letters, what the fuck am I thinking? Number 2 is 3 and 5, and I put New Earth for that one. Number 3 was 5 and 7, and I put Night Terrors. Number 4 was 7 and 4, and that's another one that I passed on. I couldn't think of that one, so we'll find out when I do the answers section in a minute just how obvious that one was, and I will punish myself accordingly. Number 5 was 195, and I got A Christmas Carol. Number 6 is a long one, 7236236, and that one took a bit of thought, but in the end I got Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS. Again, like The Great Show in the Galaxy, being a long title does narrow it down a bit, so I guess there is that. Number 7 was 9236, and I got, let's see, 923, I got Evolution of the Daleks. Number 8 was 378, and I put The Doctor's Daughter. And number 9, 825, I put Partners in Crime. Number 10 was 346, and I put The Next Doctor. Number 11 was 395, which I think is The Pandorica Opens. Number 12 was 626, and I had to pass on that one. I could not figure it out. I was sat there for a good 20 minutes trying to think of it, and then I just said, fuck it, let's move on before becomes midnight. Number 13, 426, I got Army of Ghosts, and number 14 and 15, I passed on both of them. So 14 was 363, couldn't think of it, had to pass, and number 15 was 7237, and also couldn't think of it, so had to pass on that, I'm afraid. Okay, so Title Hunt Part 2, let's see, so we've got Utopia, New Earth, and Night Terrors, got those correct. Number 4 was Closing Time. That one literally didn't even come to my mind for some reason. A Christmas Carol, Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS, Evolution of the Daleks, The Doctor's Daughter, Partners in Crime, The Next Doctor, and The Pandorica Opens. Number 12 was Aliens of London. Okay. Number 13 was Army of Ghosts, got that correct, and 14 was The Poison Sky, and number 15 was Silence in the Library. Yeah, that makes sense looking back on it. That makes sense. That's pretty good so far. I've only got 4 questions wrong, and that's only because I passed on them all, so that's pretty good. That's actually pretty decent. Okay, we'll do the next section, and yeah, then we'll finish up the video. So, next section is births and birthdays. So number 1 is, what is the second Doctor's first full story, which I think is Power of the Daleks. Number 2, what is the third Doctor's first story, which was Spearhead from Space. Number 3 is, what is the fourth Doctor's first full story, which is Robot. Number 4 is, what is the fifth Doctor's first full story, that's Castrovalva. Number 5, what is the sixth Doctor's first full story, that is The Twin Dilemma. 7th Doctor's first full story was Time and the Rani. 9th Doctor's was Rose. 10th Doctor's was the Christmas Invasion. And the 11th Doctor's was, of course, the 11th Hour. Question number 10. What story was made to celebrate 10 years of Doctor Who? That would be the 3 Doctors. What story was made to celebrate the show's 20th anniversary? That was the 5 Doctors. And what story was made to celebrate the show's 25th anniversary? Oh, that was Silver Nemesis. Although we don't tend to talk about that one as much as the other anniversary specials. Oh boy, this one. What Children in Need special was made to celebrate the show's 30th anniversary? Oh, that would be Dimensions in Time. An absolute fever dream. What was that? Anyone who's seen Dimensions in Time, you know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna have to do a video on it sometime, I think, because it is just absolute meme material all throughout. It is ridiculous. Number 14, what story was made to celebrate the show's 50th anniversary? That is, of course, The Day of the Doctor. Number 15, what was Doctor Who's 100th story, which was The Stoza Blood. Season 16, story number 3. Okay, we'll just check those answers. I think I got those all correct, not gonna lie. Power of the Daleks, Spearhead from Space, Robot, Castrovalva, The Twin Dilemma, Time and the Rani, Rose, The Christmas Invasion, The 11th Hour, The 3 Doctors, The 5 Doctors, Silver Nemesis, Dimensions in Time, Day of the Doctor, and The Stones of Blood. And I think that is everything. Okie dokie, my friends. That was Doctor Who Quiz Book Part 4. I did pretty good in that. I only got 4 questions wrong out of all the ones that I did this video, and those were only because I passed on them, so yeah. Who thought actually sitting down for a few hours and taking the time to really think about them without having the time limit and pressure of a camera in front of you would actually make you give good answers? Okay, well, leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will probably be back in roughly a week with another video. But yeah, until then, I will see you next time. And a bird just flew past my window and distracted me. How am I this inept at focusing? I have no idea. But yeah, see you in the next video, guys, and bye for now.